it's Tania Gabrielle, Wealth Astro-Numerologist. Welcome to Star Codes. This is the podcast where we look at a very important Astro-Numerology event coming up. And in this case, it is the Aries full moon happening on October 9th. This is really an exciting moment, as you'll see in a sec as I go through not only the actual sacred geometric connections that this full moon makes, but the meaning of them. And it's very, very profound. So on October 9th at 9:55 p.m. Universal Time, 4:55 p.m. Eastern, 1:55 p.m. Pacific, we have a full moon in Aries with the sun in Libra. Now, they are at 16 degrees, which we're going to look at first because 16 is a number of incredible intuitive insights that you actually must listen to in order to bypass any challenges. So it is a very powerful number. And not only that, 16 reduces to 7. 1 plus 6 equals 7. And as it happens, October in 2022 is a 7 universal month. So we have a double 7 energy activated. And 7 is that lightning strike. It is literally the lightning strike of inspiration, but also of change and of bridging heaven and earth. So you have the horizontal line coming down as a 7, bringing balance of the upper and the lower. So we look at both. So it is a very powerful number as well. And it also represents rest, relaxation, in addition to the inspiration, because in order to have that internal dialogue with Source, you do need to be in a peaceful state of utmost listening. So the great thing about this powerful full moon is that it forms two conjunctions, so a quadruple opposition. Of course, the sun and moon are opposite each other, but we have the moon at 16 degrees Aries conjunct Chiron, and the sun at 16 degrees Libra conjunct Venus. And what's amazing about that is that Venus actually rules Libra. So this creates a beautiful flow of love, and we're going to go into a lot of that topic, love and abundance for the sun opposite the moon, which is conjunct Chiron, the sacred healer. That's my name for Chiron, because Chiron heals through love. So the entral way into getting healing in every way is through the portal of love. Now the moon sextiles Mars, and why is that important? Well, Mars is Aries ruler. So that gives us greater emotional focus and direction and just amps up the whole Aries energy. So you feel fired up, you feel enthusiastic, you're ready to act. And as you'll see in a moment, action is really one of the key words for this whole period that we're in, to ignite that real sense that action is life. So Mars also creates a gorgeous grand trine, which you'll be able to see either here or there. I can't remember where I'm putting it up, but either way, look at the grand trine that is between Mars and Saturn and the Sun and Venus. So that's a very powerful forward momentum trine. The Sun rules Leo, a fire sign. Mars rules Aries, a fire sign. Saturn rules Capricorn, a sign of leadership, and especially when it regards your sacred mission. And of course, Venus, conjunct the Sun, is all about love and beauty and pleasure. So here we have this amazing forward momentum energy with Mars, the ruler, in this grand trine. And grand trine are this is beautiful, harmonious energy. It's just flowing, it's inspiring, it's motivating in the most positive way. And of course, Mars triggers action, and it creates this trine with the sun in Libra conjunct Venus, the ruler of Libra. So much abundance and love. So here's the other thing about this grand trine. It's an air grand trine, meaning all three parts of the triangle are in air signs. Mars is in Gemini, where it's spending 7 months due to the upcoming retrograde that begins the end of October. Saturn is in Aquarius, where it's been for a while, and Sun and Venus are currently in Libra. Now, the air signs are very connected to moving forward because air is the element that's very objective. If you think of a bird, getting a bird's eye view means that you become the observer. You have the complete view of the situation. So you can extricate yourself emotionally from any storylines, belief systems. You basically get a fantastic overview of the situation, and that allows you to then make decisions from a place of true soul-centered awareness. So that's going to be very, very helpful because there could be a lot of things stirred up this month because of that 7 universal month number and the 16-degree full moon in Aries, and because Aries is the first sign and it is just really ushering in some new energy here into this latter quarter of the year, which began with October. So this grand trine is showing you that you can lift yourself above any trigger that may trigger some kind of emotional response from you and give you a very calm, objective perspective, which comes from observation and listening. So air signs are wonderful at observing. So this is really good news because the quadruple opposition really creates some tension that needs to be resolved, right? So we're going to be confronted with situations and people that will require us to be very self-aware and have this outlet that comes through self-expression. Now, to help with the fueling of self-expression and also introspection is Neptune is square to Mars. Remember, Mars rules this full moon. So you want to take some extra time of rest and not exert too much energy so that you can replenish. Now, the same message of taking extra time and replenishing and taking some rest is, of course, the message of the 7 universal month for October and the 16-degree full moon number. So this square addresses that in the same way. So any tension that you feel in your life can be addressed, which comes from taking a time out. The other thing that it helps with is creative projects. So you can channel divine inspiration that comes through Neptune into completing some creative project because Mars is all about go, go, go and action. Now, the final transit that I want to look at really briefly is Mercury is trine to Pluto, which is absolutely gorgeous. Pluto is very intuitive and all about empowering through truth and through letting go. And so Mercury allows those thoughts to dive deeper and not be like surfacey, and gives you amazing capacity to understand, to perceive, to intuit, to go deeply, to use your incredible gifts that you have naturally, basically as somebody who is attuned to energy. So remember, in this whole equation of Aries, which is the first sign and begins things, that the past in our physical reality is represented by the outside world. So what I mean by that is everything is energy, and the outside world is energy that's already been created. So it's always the past. The internal world is the present. It has not been created. It is literally experiencing the energy now. Now, Aries and Mars represent energy. Mars is literally our energizer bunny, right? It goes and it directly wants to get to the destination as fast as possible. So it doesn't take any kind of tangents. It literally is from A to B, the shortest distance, right? So when we look at what we believe in, and if those belief systems get in the way or our attachments get in the way, you have to catch that. You need to catch what habitually and unconsciously is preventing you from moving as effortlessly as possible from here to there in this moment. So the Mercury trine Pluto will help with that because it's going to bring up your ability to intuit. And intuition is the key for this. You cannot figure this out in the mind. Now, the other thing that Mercury trine Pluto could bring up is disempowerment, because Pluto is all about either taking your life into your own hands, really leading from your heart and from wisdom and moving forward and not disempowering anybody else as a result, which the mind will try to do, or disempowerment, right? So if you are attached to that past narrative that you've somehow been hurt or victimized or held back due to your being a female, whatever the case may be, if you believe or think from a point of view of the past, from enslavement, in one way or another, you will not be set free, because you are literally putting your energy into that basket of, I feel like a victim because in the past, this is what has happened. So Aries is saying, no, let's cut the cords. And Aries gives you the confidence to move forward. Aries instills your heart with courage. Okay, so Aries is that fire sign of rapid movement, not stagnation, forward momentum. It's the first sign of the zodiac. As I said, it's simple and direct. It reminds you that the soul does not see, the soul is not looking at the world through color, through race, through ethnicity, through gender. The soul does not see polar opposites. So just like the full moon is not a battle between the sun and moon, it's just a reflection of light and dark as one. The soul represents all is one as well, unity. So until we catch ourselves and change those thoughts of polarity, me versus them, that person hurt me, we will continue to be victims. We'll continue to, as a collective, feel disempowered. Because everybody is constantly reacting to the outside world, which represents how it has been. The outside world was already created because everything comes from energy. So what you see already manifest is the past. What you feel inside is the present. So very few are truly present in this moment. They're waiting for things to happen because they're caught up in the external. They're waiting for feedback from the external to give them direction. So if everyone took all that focus on the external and what has been and actually stayed present right now, you would see that you've been trapped here instead of present here. And if you listen to what you're saying and thinking, and this is really the key, you will hear your unconscious clearly coming through, and you will awaken very, very fast. In fact, what I have found is with family and friends, they literally reflect back to you what you need to know all the time. You don't need some expert to tell you necessarily, though that can help, right? It certainly can help. But in day-to-day life, the people you're close to are always reflecting back what it is you need to be aware of. So you need to learn to hear yourself. You need to learn to listen to the soul because it's revealing to you what you need to be aware of in any given moment. And so to become aware of yourself in the moment, you have to learn to see and hear yourself. And again, this is where this full moon comes in, because speaking and seeing, those are all part of the Aries, the Venus experience as well. Remember, Venus is in Libra next to the sun, opposite the moon in Aries. And then the healing comes through being aware of yourself in the moment and being willing to learn to see and hear yourself as you're acting, as you're speaking. Because your soul is always revealing to you what you need to be aware of in any given moment. So you'll notice where your mind is stuck subconsciously. You'll notice where you're not present, where you're not present subconsciously or consciously, because your subconscious mind will still be stuck somewhere in the past and you're just not aware of it. So, you're living your life sort of based on an unconscious drive that you won't notice until you really listen and hear yourself. So the mind wants you to always look out there, and Mars, the ruler of Aries, is saying, no, let's not look out there. Let's just create. Let's just be in the moment. So the programming of the mind will put you in this duality, this oppositional energy where you're programmed to see the negative in another person, may it be a past partner, and forget everything positive about them when you are in that mindset, right? And then you project that negativity on a certain group of people as a result of not resolving it. So all these programs and conditioning, they limit us. And limitation is the opposite of expansion. And consciousness wants to expand. And of course, we need to allow it to expand. It's really up to us. And this is where the choice comes in. It comes down to us choosing which direction we want to go. Do we want to live in the external, the past, or do we want to be present? That is the only choice we have at any given moment. So this full moon is very passionate, very self-directed. It's very courageous, being in the sign of Aries. And with the sun in Libra, the balance is it's asking you to choose. So regarding intimate relationships, you have had many intimate relationships and you have loved people very intimately. And then inevitably you have left that person and gone into a new relationship. But the leaving of the person often happens because there is a hurt. I mean, that's usually there's somebody or both who get hurt. And then the real issue then becomes not projecting that hurt onto others who come your way later or onto a whole group of people, right? Because the human mind likes to categorize because it's very limited. We tend to want to use the mind to resolve and solve things, and it's just very limited. We need to use our heart and intuition. So one of the things the mind does in order to function is to categorize. So here's what Libra and Aries, sun and moon, recommend. Go into your heart to have more fun. Celebrate all your intimate relationships and friendships. Enjoy all of life's simple pleasures. Don't attach yourself to any person or any experience. Just live fully. The mind takes things very seriously. It takes itself very seriously, right? The heart just wants to feel and be and smile. So life is really a celebration of feeling. And Aries' passion is all about that celebration. Aries does not live by limitation. Remember, Mars just goes directly to the source of where it is focusing on. So as the first sign, Aries reminds us always to start fresh every moment. There is no limitation here through stories, through narratives. There's no limitation through beliefs that separate you from others. You're not here to repeat what's already here. Aries is saying this to you. You're here to be creative and to do something different, right? Aries is all about being original. Mars, it's the first time, right? So Aries is representing that celebration of new life. And what we tend to do is we don't tend to let life live. We don't live life, we exist instead. So you want to truly be free from that limitation, the opinions, the assumptions of others. We just want to celebrate and live in a state of discovery and in the moment. Instead of living again in that limited mind, which will only keep you living in your memories and your wounds, your pain. It's the past, right? So you're not going to evolve. And the word love, this is wonderful in numerology, you can see the connections in these words. Love is in the word evolve. So we want to evolve. We want to love. We don't want to fall into patterns. So divine consciousness is truly about an energetic foundation of love. It is not an energetic foundation of attachment. So when you can take out the attachment part, let's say you're meeting a person who you're interested in, you're starting to date, consider becoming friends for quite a long time first so that you can really get to know that person, both the light, which we always present, and the shadow. Every number in numerology, every star sign, every connection we have has both a light and a dark. The shadow is important because it helps us to grow. We tend to only present the light. That's human nature to do that. But we also have a hidden side, and that hidden side doesn't come out. Certainly not in the falling in love stage, which again, you're falling, we want to evolve. But certainly it is very important to make friendship your first go-to for any intimate relationship. And then the relationship is basically grounded in a sense of interdependency. There won't be this codependency. So when you are in that place, you can really build something of value. That is the balance. That is the only important thing. So anything that's not coming from that balance, that code of honor that's in your soul, has to be let go. Life is not something that happens to you. Life is action. It's doing. Life is a verb. So you have a will, you have inner fire, you have a code of honor, and this Aries full moon is representative of that. This Libra sun opposite the Aries moon is representative of the balance. And so you have this beautiful juxtaposition that is happening on October 9th, which is the number of letting go and culminations, that's bringing that internal balance to you. And to help you more with that, I actually have a Mars-Venus free webinar that goes deeply into these two planets. If you go to venusmarscode.com, you'll be able to discover the incredible magic of these two planets and how they are changing everything that's going on with humanity on Earth right now. It is very important. It's beautiful. I think you're going to love this free webinar. So go enjoy that at venusmarscode.com and have a beautiful Aries full moon. And I will see you next week for our Star Codes podcast. Lots of love.